Do you think that there's like any common mistakes or like things that people do wrong when they go to auditions, like for drama school?
Sometimes people think that there is some sort of secret code to breaking these auditions, when in fact it's more about who you are and what you bring to the table. Don't try and be somebody else. It's really, and then don't try and think this is what they want to see, because that goes against you. Some people definitely haven't done some research because they get the name of the play wrong. I had two of those this week. One, there's a play called Bull by Mike Bartlett, but the person kept referring to it as The Bull. The Bull. It isn't called The Bull, it's just called Bull. There was another play, the Shakespeare play Measure for Measure, introduced as Measure to Measure.
You played Demetrius in A Midsummer Night's Dream, and you've probably worked with lots of classical text.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your process when you're given a piece of classical text?
Always do your any classical text, unless the directors ask you to do something different. Do it in your own accent. Do it in your own voice. So many people put on this weird, strange Shakespeare voice. And there's nothing worse. Honestly, when I see some of these speeches, I literally write down things like, oh, weird Shakespeare voice. Oh, weird Shakespeare voice again. The most exciting people is when they suddenly use their natural accent, whether that be from Wales or Scotland or the Northeast or whatever you're from, it suddenly sounds more personable and more honest and connected. And so you've got to do the research and understanding it, put it into your own words so you can just explain it and do it in your own voice.
How do you cope with negative criticism or feedback, and what advice would you give with dealing with negative criticism or feedback?
On the whole, you would hope that the people who are giving you that criticism are either one, jealous of what you're doing, so they're just trying to put you down so they feel better about themselves, or two, they're trying to get you to be better at something. We have to believe in ourselves and our own ability. Even some of the best Netflix dramas, you get people who are like, hated it, absolutely hated it, and other people are like, what? I loved every moment of it. And even within groups of friends, you have people who have different opinions because people have different tastes.
When working with a new company, what do you think is the most important thing to take on board?
First of all, if you can know people's names and know how to pronounce them. If someone pronounces your name wrong, don't be afraid to say, I'm so sorry, that's not how you say my name. Otherwise, we start assuming people are called something and then it already gets you off on the back foot and you feel a bit uncomfortable. If there's tea and coffee facilities, ask someone if they want to join you for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. I think it's important to be bright and encouraging. I'm only 35, but, I feel past it. But at times, whatever job you're having, at some point, you're going to be the first person. It's your first job. And suddenly within 2 years, you're not the new person anymore.
What is your favourite kind of show to perform in?
I love a Pinter play, Alex. I love a Pinter play because I love the bit of, it's kind of like extreme honesty in places, but also with a bit of surrealism in there as well. I love the characters in Pinter. They're real characters who get in some extreme situations at times, and other times nothing happens. I'm a bit obsessed with the Panto stuff, and it's funny because I feel like they're two separate parts of my career. Contemporary dramas and new work and all that feels like in one place, and then the Panto feels in a very different world. But I love it.
As an actor, what was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
But in 2011, I know, long time ago, I mentioned, my agent put me up for a rep company. I thought, gosh, this is daunting. I ended up getting the job, which was really exciting, but did 13 plays in 13 weeks. This was unbelievable. I was 22. I'd only been out of drama school a year, and I was like, whew. This is a real challenge. My worry was, how on earth am I going to remember these lines? Suddenly I was thinking, this is getting out of control. But your brain is like any sort of other muscle, isn't it? And if you trust it and if you put the work in.
Do you have any advice for choosing monologues or pieces for auditions for drama school?
I would say choose something that is simple, that is just talking. Just talk to somebody else. Don't try and do stuff that is high high emotion, that you're trying to deal with stuff, or like even if that's really angry or really funny, or simple works best. Which don't just search for female monologue on Google, because it just won't, because everyone else has done that, and I can't tell you how many guilty speeches by from Ella Hickson's boys I've seen. I know the words inside out.